5 IMOCAs will take the start of the Around the World race, with 6 VO65s preparing for the new, intense sprint competition. These 11 boats are assembling in Alicante, Spain, this week in final preparation for the start of the Ocean Race 2022-23. And the activity on shore is ramping up as well, with Alicante's Ocean Park opening on Saturday, the 7th of January. This is the 14th edition of the iconic Around the World, fully crewed, offshore race, and will be the first to feature the high-tech, foiling, nearly flying, IMOCA boats. The VO65 fleet, having previously competed in 2 Around the World events, will now take on a shorter challenge, competing for the inaugural The Ocean Race VO65 Sprint Cup, which features 3 stages of racing that match legs 1, 6, and 7 of the Around the World race. For the 5 IMOCA crews putting the final touches together in preparation for the race start, this is a key week, leading into the import race on the 8th of January, before the grand depart for leg 1 of the Ocean Race Alicante to Cabo Verde on the 15th of January. 3 years ago, in 2019, when it was announced that the IMOCAs would race in the next Ocean Race, they released a video comparing the 2 classes.
So we are in Lorient, the centre of the universe for IMOCA sailing, and so we're on Initiative Car, which is my boat. The 2 boats, I guess they come from a different philosophy, whereas the 65s, they were a one design, so they were all identical, and so it didn't really matter making the boats a bit more solid to make them and having them a bit heavier because they're all identical. Whereas the IMOCA class is an open rule, not completely open, but it's an open rule, and all the boats are different. So we're pushing the boundaries of the design and the R&D and everything in the boat. So naturally, it's faster and lighter and more fun to sail. At the same time, maybe it's a little bit more fragile. And because we're testing new things the whole time, obviously some of the new things work and some of the new things don't.
You will see on IMOCAs different masts, so most of the boats are equipped with the standard mast. So it's no spreaders, but its spreaders are here, so it's a little bit different. It's a rotating mast. To perform, you can move the mast to use this part of the mast as a sail, so it's good. The big difference is we have a protected cockpit. We can close it to protect to the wave, like this.
But again, driving under a coach roof is pretty tricky as well because you don't have the wind on, and some people can drive sitting here, protected, but you don't have the feel of the wind on your face, and it's not ideal either.
It's going to be pretty warm in here, gents. Obviously, you're almost comparing an apple to an orange, talking IMOCA to, say, Volvo 65. I mean, obviously the boats are of a similar beam, but obviously not quite as long. And then this whole cockpit layout. I mean, this boat is actually set up to service anywhere between 7 to 10 people. Whereas, you know, you've got the 3 grinding pedestals here. On an IMOCA, you'd be lucky to have 1.
In the short-handed racing, we have very state-of-the-art autopilots because basically our autopilot can drive better than we are, and I don't think that rule is going to be allowed in the ocean race. And so the guys will have to drive the boats much more. And so right now, driving my boat is almost impossible because the position that you set.
And it's going to be a technical decision teams need to make if they're building a specific boat. Do you go wheels or do you go tiller? There's obviously, you know, pros and cons for both. But again, you know, obviously if you're building a multi-purpose boat, it becomes a big decision for sure.
But basically when you're driving this boat, you're sat on a little lip here on the side of the cockpit, and you've got your extending tiller and you're twisted, so your bum's hanging over the edge, you're twisted looking forwards, taking the full, I can't even sit here. When the boat goes fast, if it crashes into a wave, I can't even stay here.
This is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen. That is the kitchen, isn't it?
This is kitchen.
That's it.
We have 1 sleep here and 1 just under, so for me that's enough because it's 2 people who are sleeping during we are sailing, so I think it's okay. This is a chart table with a computer, and we can move from a side to the other side. And after we have this you know, you can put that, for me, the best place to sleep
like this.
It's perfect, just perfect.
So yeah, we're foiling in the IMOCAs, and I'm lucky enough to have foils on Initiative Co, even though this boat is actually 10 years old. Obviously foiling is much more fun because you naturally go faster and you make your boat lighter. There's a point when you're sailing as an Archimedean kind of normal boat, and then the foils start working and you just take off. Moving around on the boat is quite tricky because obviously you're bouncing along across the waves. But at the same time, when you do crash off massive waves, the foils are almost like shock absorbers, where you expect the boat to fly off a wave and crash into the wave in front. There actually is no crash because the foil carries the boat from one wave to the other, and it's just unfortunately it doesn't always happen, so we do occasionally have some big bangs and crashes. And limits, I don't really know where the limits are. I don't think we know where the limits are yet, and that's the fun thing of this class.
Yeah, the foil is missing, so it's not this one, which is the fourth one. The box is too small, in fact, and we can't make the boat get in the shed with the two foils out, full extension. You have huge loads on the board, on the bearings.
How much?
It's 10 tons. The way you sail the boat is very different compared to the way that you would sail America's Cup boat, where you are always trimming and regulate the board. Solo sailing, you try to find an average, so you're not always trimming the board. And you have to find the right balance between being really adjusted and being able to lift it and drop it by yourself with your small muscles. You try to find all the power on the right moment of the boat on the foils, so if you break it, in terms of performance, it's not good. That's life, but the objective is not to break it, to be quick from the beginning to the end.
I think the more the crew number is small, the less the physical size of the crew is important. And that's why I can win a single-handed race in an IMOCA. It's going to mean that the crews are not going to look for physical strength so much, they're going to look for talent, sailing talent. And so for sure, I think it will open it up to all sizes of people. However, maybe for those who've decided to specialise in one specific role, it might make their job a bit harder, but it makes it more fun and it makes it more interesting because everyone is going to become much better all-round sailors.